A friction force is a type of resistive force between an object and a rough surface, and it's a type of contact force that's tangential to the surface, and experiments have been conducted to determine that the magnitude of the friction force is proportional to the magnitude of the normal force, which is a perpendicular contact force between an object and the surface. So consider an object that's stationary, then we call this the static friction force. And suppose we want to move this block by applying a tension force on a cable attached to it. Well, we keep increasing this force, and by Newton's first law, the magnitude of the static friction force also increases until we reach the limit of the maximum static friction. Well, in that case, the object is on the verge of sliding. And if we keep increasing the force, then the object gains in acceleration because the tension force is going to be larger than the kinetic friction force while the object is in motion. So the object is easier to move when it's sliding. And in this case, the magnitude of the kinetic friction force is also proportional to the magnitude of the normal force, with the kinetic friction coefficient being the constant of proportionality. So these linear relationships for friction have been determined experimentally. Let's consider the motion of this block along an inclined plane with some angle theta from the horizontal. Well, we can analyze the motion in a coordinate system with an axis parallel to the plane and another perpendicular to the plane. And we can resolve the force of weight into components that are perpendicular to the plane and parallel to the plane using vector addition. And now we can apply Newton's second law along the parallel direction. So using geometry, this angle theta is equal to the angle of the inclined plane. And using trigonometry, where the force of weight is the mass of the block by the gravitational acceleration, and resolving it into the parallel component, we multiply by sine theta. And that's the only component in the parallel direction. And now we can solve for the acceleration of the block. So if the angle theta is 0, there's no acceleration. And if the angle theta is pi on 2, or the angle of the plane is 90 degrees, then the acceleration is purely gravitational, acting on the block. And in the perpendicular direction, you can apply Newton's first law. So that would give you the normal force minus a perpendicular component of the gravitational force to the plane. So that would be mg cosine theta. And that's equal to 0. And using that, you can solve for the normal force. Let's consider a stationary block in contact with a plane that has an angle theta from the horizontal. And we want to find the maximum angle theta where the block begins to slide. And I'm going to choose a coordinate system with a parallel direction to the plane and a perpendicular direction. So by geometry, think about why this angle theta is equal to this one. And if we apply Newton's first law in a tangential direction, where the force of weight is the mass of the block by the gravitational acceleration, you'll get the following expression. And in the perpendicular direction, and solving this equation for the normal force, and recall the definition of the static friction force. And now you can substitute this in the first equation. And cancelling out mg and doing a bit of algebra. and then solving for theta. And this is the maximum angle of the plane before the block begins to slide. A ball with a mass of 2 kilos is rolling up a frictionless inclined plane, and we're asked to find the acceleration of the ball. So first we draw a free body of the ball, taking the forces acting through the center of mass, because we treat it as a particle. So we have the force of weight and the normal force. And if we resolve the force of weight into components that are perpendicular and parallel to the plane, well, the perpendicular component cancels with the normal force. So therefore the net force is to the left, directed along the incline, and therefore the acceleration is in the direction of the net force. We have theta is equal to 30 degrees over here. So what we have is the tangential component of the force of weight is mg sine 30 degrees, and that's equal to the mass by the acceleration. And the mass of the ball cancels, and sine 30 degrees is 1/2. So we have A is equal to G on 2. And the mass is given in kilos, so we're just going to assume units of meters per second squared for the acceleration. A 3 kilo ball is rolled up a frictionless plane with an incline of 40 degrees, and the initial velocity is 10 meters per second, directed along the incline. Find the distance d that the ball travels. So we took the origin at the ball. Now taking a free body of the ball, we find the following forces acting on it. So the force of weight and a normal force. And we can see that if we resolve the force of weight into parallel and perpendicular components of the plane, well, the net force is to the left. So the acceleration is going to act in the direction of the net force. And taking our positive directions as follows. We're going to apply Newton's second law along the parallel direction. So we have minus the force of weight, sine theta, where this theta angle is equal to the incline of the plane. And that's equal to minus the mass by the acceleration. And solving for the acceleration, so substituting for the following values, you'll get the acceleration. And to find the distance, well, we know the initial velocity. We know the final velocity when the ball stops is 0. So we can use the following kinematic equation, given the acceleration is constant. And note that the acceleration is against the displacement vector. And then if you make your substitutions with the correct signs, and take an x0 is 0 at the origin, you'll be able to find the distance travelled up the plane. A 3 kilo ball is rolled up a plane with an incline of 40 degrees, and we're asked to find the acceleration at the time instant shown, and assume the following friction coefficients. So taking a free body of the ball and drawing the forces that are acting on it, so we have the force of weight, the kinetic friction force, and the normal force. And this angle is equal to the angle of the plane. So applying Newton's first law in a direction parallel to the plane, where we note that the acceleration is to the left because it acts in the direction of the net force. Now alternatively, you can assume the acceleration is positive on the right hand side, and if you get a negative result from the equation, then you just flip the direction of the acceleration. Now applying Newton's first law in a perpendicular direction to the plane, where there's no motion, we obtain the following expression. And note that the magnitude of the kinetic friction force is proportional to the magnitude of the normal force. And we use the kinetic friction coefficient because the ball's in motion. So from this equation, you can substitute for the normal force. You'll get an expression for the kinetic friction force, which you can substitute into this equation, and then you'll be able to find the acceleration.